Welcome to Nordson Electronic Production Solutions. I'm delighted to be joined by Frank Sommer. Great to see you, Frank. It's been years.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, so you're one of the foremost experts here in Germany on the front of selective soldering. And we have behind us the very latest machine coming out of the Nordson stable called the Synchro. Mm-hmm. It's on a very different sort of platform than previous machines. Explain the strategy or the thinking behind it, please.
Yeah, when this project started around about 4 years ago, we thought about, is there a way from saving footprint but still having the same throughput from 4 and 6 pot soldering machines. When you want to increase your throughput, normally in traditional selective soldering you just add another solder station, having another 2 pots, and even more, having another solder station, and then you are ending up at 6 pots having a 9 or 10 meter long machine. Yes. And then we thought, is there a way saving footprint, having the same output or the same flexibility as on these machines, but with a much smaller footprint? And then we came up with the idea of the Synchro. And the Synchro is a non-stoppable process. That means that the machine continuously is accepting boards one after the other, mm-hmm. and we don't stop the board in each station. Like we stop on traditional machines, we stop the board on the flux station, and then it goes to the preheat and so on. And the board continuously is moving throughout the machine.
Obviously, it comes in and you use the fluxing system and the preheat. That is the first stage. But then you have 5 different pots in there.
Yeah.
And so is each pot doing one part of the soldering process as it traverses down the machine?
Yes, so one pot is not doing the complete board, is not soldering the complete board. When you're doing the program, the components to be soldered is distributed automatically by an algorithm to balance the perfect throughput, which solder pot is actually soldering which component. So the operator does not have to take care of which solder pot needs to solder which component. Also, the operator do not need to take care about which is the best conveyor speed. That's all calculated automatically by a smart software.
Okay, so but this also allows for, if you've got a heavy device, like say a big transformer that needs a lot more solder to be deposited, it allows for that to be on one of these pots, as it were.
Yeah, that's correct.
So you can change the height that way.
Absolutely, that's correct. So you can either use 5 same nozzles for one product, or if needed, depending on the application, you can also use 5 different nozzles. That depends on the application. Okay. But normally, or what happens very often, is that you are using 1 or maybe 2 different solder nozzles. And then doing this by the program, it distributes it automatically which solder pot is soldering which component. So that's done fully automatically. That's an algorithm inside of the software.
Okay. What about on the fluxing side? Obviously one of the problems is usually clogging when the machines are stopping and starting. Yep. I know this is a continuous operation machine, but there are going to be times that it stops. So do you have an anti-clogging system?
Yes. Always when you start the production, the machine goes to a purge station. And then we are measuring also if there is flux coming out, and if the sensor sees that there is flux coming out, the machine is allowed to produce. So we are doing this in the beginning of the production, an automated purging of the flux system. There is also in the fluxing, there is a constant flow control that we always know that we distribute the same amount of flux to the PCB. Mm-hmm. And to go even further about even more process control features, there is the possibility on selective soldering. Sometimes it appears that the board is warping, especially when you don't put the board into a fixture. Yes. Of course, you can run also fixtures through the machine, mm-hmm. but fixtures cost money. Yes. And if you want to run only the bare board, sometimes it happens that you have some warping. Yeah. And we can compensate this with what we called automated board warpage compensation. Okay. That means you are putting several points on the board. We are measuring with a laser, a triangulation measuring, and we are compensate then the warping automatically to the Z-axis of the solder pot. Yes.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. So you're compensating through laser measurement, essentially.
Correct.
Yeah. A lot of these soldering systems, or you see that there are two pot configuration, and they quite often say, well, one pot we can use for lead free, and one is tin lead. You know.
yeah.
Do can you set it up in such a way that you can mix and match on here?
Of course, it's possible to have also different alloys in it. You can have one solder pot or two solder pot with lead-free and with leaded, and the other ones are lead-free. And you select in the program how many solder pots you want to use for a certain application. So yes, it's possible also to have two different alloys in the machine. Of course, all solder pots, or let's put it this way, everything which comes in contact with solder is made of titanium.
Yes.
So for us, it doesn't really matter which alloy the customer is using. So
Yes.
that's up to the customer, basically.
How easy is it to change out the solder pots? How accessible are the pots?
Everything is done from the back. There is plenty of room in the backs. You have a maintenance position. You just press a button. Everything comes to the back. You open the back doors here. There is plenty of room for maintenance, for cleaning the solder pot.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it seems a very well engineered system, Frank. I mean, I've got to hand it to you. It certainly looks quite interesting. And as you say, on a reduced footprint. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for showing it to us today.
Thank you, Trevor.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today.